Hello, welcome to the tutorial on Gravit.io. Gravit is an online vector imaging tool that will allow you to create creative designs straight from your brain onto the computer. It is online, which means you can use it almost anywhere, whether you're on a Chromebook, a PC, or a MacBook. Getting started, we're going to log in. When you go to log in, it asks you to choose, I'm using the Google login, so it'll ask you to choose an account. And depending on whether you've used it before or not, it may offer you different things when you first go in. You want to eventually get to this screen. This is the default home screen where you can choose what you're starting with. Either open an existing file or from a template of some sort, or create your own original design. So I'm going to do a 4x4. Instead of pixel, which would be extremely tiny, I'm going to choose inch. And then I'm going to click create. Here's my 4x4-inch canvas in the middle. You'll notice the space in Gravit is separated into 4 regions. So we have our canvas in the middle. That can be as much space as is available there. We have our tools across the top, which we'll cover some of those today. On the left side, you have pages and layers, as well as libraries and symbols, which you can click through. And finally, on the right, you have an inspector. The inspector tells you whatever is selected. It gives you details about that object and what you can change about it. So here, for example, if I created my object as 4x4, but I meant to make it 5x5, I can change that size right here. All right, so let's get started. We're going to only go through a couple of things today. I'll start with text tool is with a T, which is pretty standard in design software. I'm going to click and drag a space for text. And notice it says your text goes here. So I'm going to enter information here that would be pertinent to my design. And then because I have text, the inspector has changed to an inspector that is related to text. Specifically, you'll notice information about fonts that are available. Additionally, I can change the color of the text. There are some pre-selected colors down here that may be relevant. These are called swatches, or you can use the color picker and go through and choose from millions of possible colors. Or you can use hex code. If you don't know about hex codes, you can search them online and pretty quickly learn how to type in a code, either a hex code or even an RGB code to get a specific color. Dragging this bar allows you to change through the various hues available. And dragging this bar allows you to change the level of opacity. So my text is here, and if I want to change something else about it, I could. That's for you to play around with. Text is pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to add in a second common feature, would be a shape. So these shapes, there's not many options, but what you can choose to do with them will be shown to you as you draw or as you just play around with the tool. So if I click and drag, I'm now drawing an ellipse. If I hold down Shift, I'm now drawing a forced circle at various sizes. If I know I want a specific size, once I'm done drawing, I can actually come up here to the inspector. And if I know I want, for example, a 2x2 circle, I can choose 2x2. If I know I want to lock the size change, so if I make it 3 inches wide, then it will, with this selected, it'll automatically change the height to 3x3. With this not selected, I can change one dimension without changing the other. And then there are some other tools down here that you can play with. And down here under fills is where you can add or change the color. So I'm going to go with something in the green family. Additionally, I can add a border by clicking on the plus sign here. So now my shape, you'll notice, has a border. And I can change how thick that border is by typing in a new value. I can change the color of the border if I so choose, etc. When I move an object into interact with another object, some important things come into play. Notice my text has disappeared, and that's due to the order of the layers. The layers stack, so the last thing I brought in is considered on top. You'll see your layers over here on the left panel, and these layers can be adjusted simply by clicking and dragging. I can change the order of the layers, and now I can see trees and flowers on top of the circle. And now this design is well on its way. You'll notice some pop-ups. This is helping me try to center that design there. I can also use the centering feature within the font to center the fonts within that box. And now I have a really well-centered text within the circle. And this design is a very simple version of what's possible, and hopefully will get you started. Quickly looking at the tools up here, you have zooming, you have the pan tool, which allows you to move the canvas itself for when you're really zoomed in or have a large canvas. This is for moving objects. The pointer tool allows you to move individual objects on the canvas. Shape tool we looked at, pen we'll look at in another tutorial. Text, add images, and that's about it for this introduction. So have fun, play around, and come back for more when you're ready.